Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and this week I'm going to stray from my normal format to say I've had a very busy week. So as I said, I'm straying from my normal format a little bit today. It's been an incredibly busy week, both on the hobby front and on the work front. But I've loved every minute of it. I'm not complaining. Not for the first time. I've been thinking how lucky I am to have such a peculiar hobby. So today, what I'm going to do is more sort of a channel update and sort of tell you what's going to happen in the next few months, or at least what I've got planned. We'll start off by talking about Partisan. So anyone that follows the channel will know that I went to Partisan at the weekend. My first ever Partisan. It was an extremely busy, but I was really pleased that I went because it was such an incredible event. I really enjoyed myself. I was very relieved to see how busy the show was, especially after shock of Salute last year, which was very quiet. This show, Partisan, was busy from the moment I walked in the front door, and it really didn't start tailing off until after 3 o'clock. And indeed, it was still very busy right at the very end, when people were starting to pack up. So that was really good to see. And I spent very little time actually doing any shopping. That's not a reflection on the traders at all, but purely on the quality of the conversation. I spent all day talking to people. All of the games tables, the people running the games were more than happy to talk about their games. They really engaged with the public. I met loads of friends that I know through the channel and through the blog, and for many for the first time, and that was really good to meet you guys, and I hope to see you at future shows. It's a week later. I'm still utterly exhausted. My throat, my knees, my back, everything hurts, but all in a very good way. It was totally worth it. So following on from that, of course, I had a ton of photos from Partisan, and I managed to get my video up earlier in the week. It's been very popular. I'm really chuffed. I'm really chuffed with the response that I've got from it. Lots of really positive comments, or mostly positive comments, and lots of views. So that's been really good. I tend to be very methodical about how I take my pictures at shows. I have talked about this before. I will go up and down the rows in strict order, and always try to take a photograph of the table label, the show picture or whatever, and then take a wider shot. So help me place that table so that I can get the labels right on it. So hopefully everything on the video is correct. Cross-reference it against the display material that come on each table, and the show handout that tells you what all the demo games were and so on. So hopefully I got that right. Got a couple of ideas how I can improve that in future and speed the process up. But I was amazed to see some people getting their pictures and their videos up even earlier than me, some of them on the same day. Seriously, they must have access to Time Lord technology if they're able to do that so quick. So kudos to those guys. I've watched a dozen or so Partisan show videos, and they've all been really good. And everyone has ended up highlighting something that I just I missed. And I thought was being very methodical. Now, I shot well in excess of 350 photos, probably closer to 400. By the time I'd removed the occasional blurry one, or where I'd taken a shot of, now I've got a better one of that, where I've taken 2 or 3 of the same picture, I still ended up with over 300 usable photos, and I've tried to put as many of them as I can into the video. And as I say, the response has been excellent, so I'm really chuffed with that, and I'll be doing the same sort of thing when I go to other shows in future. Now, the other major event that took place this week and has been keeping me really busy is that a couple of weeks ago, Partisan's Rejects were invited to join in a Zoom game hosted by Johnathan in the USA. Now, he apparently he runs these games on a regular basis for different groups. So we had, it was all done over Zoom, multiple cameras. We had details, and our armies are laid out for us before the game, but it gave us time to divide our group of players up into separate commands, have planning sessions. We all love that sort of thing, so that we were all ready to get playing on Monday evening. 6 of the rejects managed to join in. Well, actually 5 of us did. Poor old Ray was late because of work, so he didn't end up getting to join in, but we could have had the 6 players, and we were playing the Battle of San Martino, part of the Battle of Solferino. An excellent game, really interesting and fun to play. I'll try and put a link down below of the first part of the game that's on Johnathan's blog, So some really interesting write-up and some good photographs there, so I urge you to go and have a look at that. As I say, it's the first part of the game, because we were playing through the game and we were running out of time really. It was getting very late for us, so we decided to call it a halt and resume this coming Monday. So we're going to do this game in 2 parts, and I'm glad, because it would have been a pity to leave the game where it was. So we're all really looking forward to the second half of the game, and of course another flurry of planning sessions between the 2 sides just to keep us extra interested. In fact, I've had 3 planning sessions this week alone. And you know, I have to say, well done to Johnathan. For keeping the unruly rejects in order. It must have been like herding cats with us lot on all video, different cameras. But you know, he's up for another session with us on Monday, and I think we're all really looking forward to it, and we hope we might be able to do this again at some point in the future. So really looking forward to that on Monday. But that's not been the only thing that's been keeping me occupied this week, because there's now only 2 weeks to go to Broadside, and I will be running a demo game for the rejects. This is my French Foreign Legion game, where I've painted all the videos, built all the terrain, organised the game. We've done a practice game and all of that since Christmas, so you know, it's been a pretty hectic schedule to get everything done. This week I've just been doing the finishing touches to the leaflet, the handout that we've prepared. I'll be printing them over the next day or 2 just before the show, just to make sure that we caught every spelling mistake. I'm sure we'll miss something, and I'm sure someone will point it out, but we've done our best to make sure it's as good as possible. I've had a final reading of the rules, because you know it's like you always miss something, and always good to remind yourself of how the rules are written. A few minor tweaks to the quick reference sheet that I've been using to help me avoid having to flick through the rulebook during the middle of the game, and some last minute additions to the display material that's going to accompany the game. You know, I can hardly moan about other people's lack of signage for displays shows and then not make that sort of effort myself. So hopefully what I've end up doing is presenting my idea of the perfect show game. I'd love to see what you think afterwards, and whether you think I've missed out an opportunity to do something that I've previously espoused in one of my previous videos. So what's next on my to-do list? Well, actually some more pre-planning for Broadside, but this time not for the game itself, but for the aftermath, the video basically. I want to get as much prepared so that I can get that video up and out quickly, because I know I haven't got a lot of time the week after. So part of that is going to be getting the list of all the games that are going to be present off the website, and having everything ready to just cut and paste and job onto my photos when I'm trying to organise my pictures, and to be able to put into the video itself. I also need to make myself a shot list, so in my head I have a list of particular shots I want to get during the day of the demo game that we're going to be running. So I can remind myself, I've got a list to remind myself to say, right, I need such and such a picture or something, so that I can put it in that final video. I do that when I do me battle reports and stuff. I usually have a shot list in my head, so I know exactly what it is I need to take a bit of video of. Of course I'm planning, I want to get what pictures I want from the demo game and the other games around us, and of course the beginnings of a script to accompany that video. And this all sounds like the sort of stuff that you do afterwards, but actually a lot of it can be done before you do a video of a show, and the more I can get done next week, the better, because like I say, I haven't got a lot of time the following week. So in the longer term, I'm going to be doing a very similar process for Joy of 6, which is going to be the beginning of July. Now, I'm all prepared for that. I've got my hotel booked and everything. I'll be going up there for the day. Going alone, I'm afraid, so none of the other rejects are coming. But it does mean if I get plenty of final preparation done, I can get, again, lists of what games are going to be on display and so on. So I've got some idea of what I'm going to be taking pictures of and in what order and so on. Hopefully it will enable me to get my video together very quickly afterwards, because again, I had to move my day off at work to accommodate the trip home and all that sort of thing. I'm not going to have a lot of time that following the week after the show. So the quicker I can get that video out, the better, because it's just time fitting everything in. And then with Joy of 6 out the way and the video for that done, I then want to get on and do some more quick site battle reports. It's been months since I've done one, I know that, and so we're long overdue me doing some more battle reports for the channel. I've already got a script written for a Punic war game that I've got in the planning stage. So I've just got a little bit more work on that before I actually get the models out, play a game. I know what sort of shots I want to get and so on. So that's already in the planning stage. And then I'd like to do a historical battle report using my French Foreign Legion stuff. So, you know, as well as planning for the demo game in 2 weeks' time, or in a little over a week's time actually. I'm already giving some thought to a proper historical battle report for a later date. So there's some of my longer term projects. Now, perhaps amazingly, some of you might realise that you know, I drew up this sort of plan, if you like, ages ago, back at Christmas. In fact, the year was planned out quite carefully around various events and things that I knew that were coming up, and I've still managed to squeeze in extra stuff that I didn't plan on. But it does beg the question, you know, how far do you plan ahead? Indeed, do you plan at all like that, beyond penciling in the dates of shows? Does this make me an even more peculiar person than the average nerdy wargamer? As usual, I'd love to hear from you and see what you think about my plans for the future. Please join in the conversation in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with weekly content, please click the bell notification icon. So until next week, keep safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.